Buongiorno! Today we are going to make porchetta and we are going to make pasticcini, little almond cookies. To start, we're going to make our porchetta. Now, porchetta is actually in Italy made from most of the whole pig. And interesting enough, this is such a traditional Italian dish that the Ministry of Agriculture has designated it as a traditional Italian dish in Italy. For our benefit, because I'm not gonna carve a whole pig or break it down, we're gonna use pork belly, skin on, and pork tenderloin. The first thing we wanna do, and I'm gonna roll it in the pork belly, which is basically like rolling it in a skin of fat. So I'm gonna actually remove this fat from my pork loin because we don't need both. So let's take that off. Some recipes, if you just research this dish, a lot of chefs just use pork belly by itself. I like having both kind of the savory and crunchy and fatty pork belly along with the meatiness of the pork tenderloin. Now, we're gonna have to roll this up. So I want to create a spiral pattern. So in order to do that, I'm going to cut into the pork tenderloin, but not all the way through, right? Then we're gonna go the other way. And then I'm gonna come down one more time. So we've created a nice flat piece. Let's get that out of the way. So my friends at Italy, Dallas, trimmed my pork belly for me. So it's all ready to go. And this is just like a big slab of bacon. If I were to cut it in slices and put it in the oven, it's just like bacon, although it does have skin on. Also, just a trick, when you get your pork belly, if you actually leave this out refrigerated, uncovered overnight, when you put it in the oven, you'll get a crispier skin. Okay, so we want to layer this together. Now I want my pork tenderloin to be a little bit shorter than the pork belly, so I'm gonna trim a little bit of this off. Actually, let's just trim that part off. And I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna get our herb seasoning ready to fill our porchetta. So for this part, we're gonna use a mortar and pestle. And I've got thyme, rosemary, parsley, fennel seeds. If you can find fennel pollen, use fennel pollen, but fennel seeds are just fine. Garlic, crushed red pepper, and a little bit of white wine. We're gonna crush this down till it creates almost like an herb paste. So we're just kind of smash that. All together. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I promise you, when you make this dish, your house is gonna smell amazing. Okay, as soon as this is done, we're gonna spread it out and I'm gonna show you how to roll this up and truss it. So you will need butcher's twine for this part of the recipe. And I'm gonna take that herb mixture. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so good. And just spread that evenly. And then I also want to season it well with salt and pepper. Okay, and now we want to roll it up. So you've noticed I've left a little bit of space here before the pork, like I don't have the pork tenderloin right up to the edge. So kind of fold that over and just give it a good roll. And when this cooks and you slice it, you're gonna get that spirally herb mixture in there. It's a really, really pretty presentation. Okay, now to truss this, I'm actually gonna flip it over this way and I'm gonna take my string and come up underneath the pork on the end and Get a knot going. Okay, now, it's okay to have extra string. I always hate it when I have too little because then I gotta tie another knot. So, get a good amount. And what you do is you twist it and then come around like a loop to the next section of the pork. Put it down, pull it tight. So trussing does two things. One, it's gonna keep this from unrolling, but also the more compact you get this, the more evenly it will cook. So again, twist your string, bring it around the pork, and pull it tight. And just do that till you get to the end of the pork. Once you're at the end, I usually do one more, bring it through, and tie a knot. Let me get a pan and we will get this in the oven. I've got our oven preheated at 320, so this is a slow and low kind of, I guess you could say braise, because we are gonna add liquid to the pan. I'm going to put this seam side down. I'm gonna add some water, about 2 cups, to the bottom of the pan. And then we want to coat this in olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. Pork belly already has some salt in it, so you don't need to really do too much, just a light sprinkle. Give that a good rub. Tell it to be a good little porchetta. We're gonna put this in the oven at 320 and we're gonna let it go for about 3.5 to 4 hours. If you're not sure if it's done, your outside should be crispy. Take your thermometer and temp it to about 145 to make sure the pork is cooked to at least a medium temperature. Okay, it's been about 4 hours. I temped our pork, it's perfect. Let's cut the, oh, how crispy that skin is. I'm excited. And then let's remove this from the pan. All right. And let's slice this up. Okay, sharp knife. You might have to use the tip of it to get through that crispy skin. But I want to show you what the slices look like with that beautiful spiral. Can you see that? That gorgeous? So you can just do slices. My hands are greasy. So you can see how lovely those slices look as a presentation, or to make it an Italian street food, put it in some crusty bread and eat it as a sandwich. Now we're going to move on to our pasticcini little almond cookies. We are moving on to our pasticcini, which are little almond cookies. Now, pasticcini in Italian, translated to English, is basically a general term for baked goods. So you'll find cream puffs, scones, biscuits, cookies, all starting with pasticcini, and they may have other prefixes or other things associated with them to identify what type of pastry it is. So today we're gonna do little almond cookies. We have almond flour, sugar. I'm gonna mix those two things together and get them well combined. No stand mixer needed for this. This is just easy by hand. Mix it all together. We are going to incorporate egg white, honey, some almond extract, some vanilla extract, and some orange zest. So this cookie almost has a biscuit-like texture to it. And once this comes together in a dough, we're gonna scoop it out and we can roll it in almonds and sugar. Some people do different textures and do like sliced almonds, and some do the slivered almonds. Some people do powdered sugar. We're gonna do granulated sugar and sliced almonds today. Okay, our dough's come together. So again, I like to use my scoop. I'm not filling it up though quite as full as that scoop. It's kind of large. So I'm gonna make probably about a golf ball size little roll. And then we wanna roll it in powdered sugar. Let those almonds kind of coat it. And you can kind of press those a little bit more into the dough so they stick. And if that is not working, let's try it with the almonds first, because the dough's a little stickier. Maybe the sugar coated it so that those don't stick. Very good. Is that working better? Kind of press it into there. That's what we'll do. We'll press it in, then shape it. See, now you're gonna get the almonds sticking, then we can coat it with sugar. But like I said, you can do different coatings on these. These are gonna go in a 350-degree oven. They are gonna bake for 10 to 12 minutes. Our little almond biscuit cookies are done. They're nice and golden. Look at that beautiful almond crust on there. I'll tell you what, my food's trying to escape me this season. Pretty cookies. They're biscuit-like, they're light and airy. I promise. That's been there this whole time. I have not been drinking wine. I save that till the end. But with that said, we are at the end, and I hope that you have enjoyed this season of Getting Saucy TV. Again, I'm Chef Jennifer Basil. You can find all our recipes on jenniferbasil.com. And if you haven't noticed, we've done a ton of desserts. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Arrivederci.